All right, everyone. Welcome to the live oil change, or that the so hazy. Okay, everybody, we are live. Welcome in. Sorry, looking a little hazy. I don't know why. Maybe my lens is. Maybe my something's going on with my lens. So bear with me as I get set up here. Welcome in to those of you. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Everyone hear me okay? Okay, I gotta see the chat here. Okay, everyone. See the chat on my computer. Welcome in. I think I'm going to clean off my lens. Welcome into my stream. Doing a oil change on my Honda Odyssey. Let me know if you can hear me. And I'm going to be doing this with my phone. I'm going to clean my lens. Bear with me, everyone. I think my lens is a little foggy. There we go. That's better. You know, it's interesting that no, it's not. Maybe it's just the angle I've got going here. So we'll bear with that. Welcome in. This is my first live oil change. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm using some wireless earbuds here. So let me know if you can hear me okay. Thanks for the thumbs up. For those of you who are watching, if you want to mention in the chat if you're hearing me okay. I don't want this to be a silent stream because my earbuds aren't working. I didn't want to use wired headphones because they would just get in the way. So let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. And when I get confirmation on that, so, oh, volume is a tad low. Okay, is that better? I tried to turn the volume up. Well, the volume on my phone. I don't know if that applies to my earbuds. Because if these earbuds are not going to work, I'll try some different ones. Oh, you can meet our neighborhood cat here. Hold on, I got this connected into some wire. This is JoJo. Can you say hi, JoJo? This is one of our neighbor's cats. She likes to come over and visit me a lot. You gonna help me with this oil change today? Huh? She only has one eye. Nope, didn't change anything. I'm on mobile. I'm sure others can hear you fine. You sure it's not your volume? Fishing with Phil, and welcome in to the stream. I could change out my headphones, and you can let me know if that's going to be better. I had some other headphones. What do I do with them? Now I can't find them. No, mine's all the way up. Galaxies don't go too loud. Okay, but you're still able to hear me somewhat. Actually, I can check here on my laptop. Huh. Yeah, it's not sounding too loud. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me turn that up. Testing. Let's see if this is going to work. Just testing the volume here, everyone. Hey, I can hear myself. Well, okay. It is a little muffled. You're right. It's a little muffled, um, but we can go with it. Let me see if I can find my other headphones. Let's see here. I could try to turn these up, but okay. It's not terrible though. If I had it on the PC, it would be no problem. I'm sure most people would hear it. Okay. Well, we'll just go with it. I'll try to talk a little bit louder. But thanks for the feedback on that. So this is my 2004 Honda Odyssey. For those of you coming in, doing an oil change on this Odyssey this morning, and feel free to chat as well. I'm going to be um, try to interact with you guys as much as I can, and we'll see how this goes. I've had to do some maintenance on my Odyssey, just simple oil change. I ran it for a couple of minutes. You want to make sure to run your car for a couple of minutes before you do an oil change, because especially in colder months, so that you can ensure that the oil comes out a little faster, and you want to make sure that you don't uh, you don't want to drive it like on a long trip and then immediately come home and change your oil, because the oil will be way too hot to handle. Um, and also, just for you know, I have a disclaimer in my description. Do not attempt to do this unless you know what you're doing. And I've been doing this for many years, so this is something that I'm used to. But I still take the utmost in safety. As you can see, I have double jack stands on both sides of the vehicle. Let me turn this around. So I've got double jack stands. I actually leave the jack in place as just another precaution. And when I have to take the wheels off, it's a good idea to put the wheels underneath the car as well, but I don't need to take the wheels off for this. Though on this Odyssey, if you do take this wheel off, it does make accessing the oil pan a whole lot easier than when you don't. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we've got to get our supplies. Sorry for kind of the unorganized pile of supplies here, but I've got my oil drain pan. This is something that I'm going to make sure that I have to begin with. Also want to make sure to have some good shop rated towels. I actually got these at Costco. You can get a huge package of these towels at Costco for inexpensive. So that's what I'd recommend getting if you work on your car a lot. And today we're going to be using this Amazon Basics full synthetic SC5W20. That's what my Honda takes. You're going to need to consult your owner's manual to see what your vehicle takes. Now, this is high mileage full synthetic. I have used full synthetic in this vehicle as well, but I'm going to try out this high mileage one. And a lot of times on the oil cap, it'll indicate the type of oil. As you can see, 5W20. You do not want to put in a different viscosity grade of oil than what your vehicle calls for. Some people will put the 0W20 in these Hondas. I feel like that's a little bit too thin, so I just stick with the 5W20 just to be safe. And here, the genuine Honda oil filter. I like to go with the genuine filters. They just fit the best. They just have, you know, they just have the best performance in my opinion. There are some aftermarket ones that do really well, but you can order these in bulk in Amazon. And I forgot to put the link to this in the description, but I can put that in later. And then these also require a crush washer for the oil drain plug that you want to make sure that you include. You can reuse the crush washers, but generally you want to put a new one in for each oil change. So what we need, a couple of tools here. So I have my socket. My Honda takes a 17mm socket, so I have this to take the drain plug off, make sure it's in loosening mode. And then for the oil filter, this tool actually works really well for getting just about any oil filter off, especially if it gets stuck. But I will probably be using this. These are really nice for taking off the filters and then reinstalling them. And if you have the right torque wrench, you can get the oil filter put back on to spec. So that works out nicely. But you'll see in the filter, they actually have, okay, Fishing with Phil, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate you stopping by. Especially these manufacturer filters, they have numbers here on them. You can see 4, 3, stickers in the way. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4. These actually, those are a guide for how tight you're supposed to get it. You're supposed to spin this until it gets seated against the housing, and then as soon as it touches the housing, you turn it 3/4 of a turn beyond that to get it to the proper tightness. So that's how you put on the filter. All right, I think we're ready to do this. So I wonder if I should wait for a few more people to come in before I start this. Well, that's a lot better view than the other way, isn't it? Because you're looking right at kind of the bright sky. Do I have anybody still in here? Or am I doing this oil change by myself? Showing one person in the house, but that actually could be my laptop. Because I've got my laptop on so that I can see the chat from my PC. In addition to here on the phone, I'm streaming from the phone so that I can take you underneath the car to see what's going on. But maybe I should wait a couple minutes here before I get started on this. If anyone else is interested in knowing how to do this oil change, I've got my glasses on today so that I can actually read the chat. I know there's some other live streams going on, which I anticipated, but not a big deal. You just gotta stream when you can. I wonder if I should switch out my mic because these are not the best quality. I wonder if I switch out to my headphones. These may not be the most ideal for this job, but they'll definitely sound better. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to switch out my headphones. Bear with me here. I switch out my headphones. Just a minute. Give everyone a chance to come into the stream if they want to. Maybe not that many people want to learn how to have an oil change today. Okay. Looks like there's some other lives going on right now. Maybe I didn't actually pick the best time to do this. Okay, guys, I'm gonna. Okay. Plug in. All right, let me know if you can hear me. Though I'm now tethered to my phone, which isn't quite as convenient. So I've got anybody else here in the house? Or I'm going to be on my own to change my oil today. You know, I wonder if I should just go without the mic and use the dedicated. It'll give me more freedom. I'm just going to go without. I don't want to be tethered with the wire. Anybody want today? Well, I guess I'll just get started. Whoever comes in, come in. All right, let's start. What happened to my tool? I'm not working hard. Keeping track of your tools. So I've got my socket. We're going to take off the oil plug. Honda Odyssey. So it doesn't rain on me. Okay, everyone. Hopefully you can see okay. All right. Here as far as bringing this in. See what's going on. Underneath here now. Okay, so you want to put the old drain pan underneath here. To just get the drain plug out, it is going to pour out pretty quickly. Again, you want to make sure that you have your socket And that's on there pretty good. So I'm going to need to get something with some more leverage. I don't remember putting it on because so removing this wheel over here will give you much more. There we go. It was on pretty tight, so you'll be able to finger loosen it now. And I'm going to have my paper towels nearby because this is going to get my hands kind of dirty. Okay. You also want to make sure that you are loosening the correct drain plug. You don't want to be loosening the drain plug on the screen. Okay, so ready for the oil, everyone? There we are. There's the oil. Now, interesting is that it's leaking a little bit from the drain plug. So I wonder if this brush washer isn't really that effective. Not sure what's going on, but there you go. Drain the oil. Wow, everyone must be busy today. Unless they're not seeing this stream, I wonder if they can clear this out. I think I might clear it out. Get some people in here. Because I don't think anybody is in here. Oh, welcome in. If you're just coming in, I am changing oil on my Honda Odyssey. I just took the drain plug out. Glad to have you in today. Be sure to hit the thumbs up if you're staying in. If not, then hope you have a great Saturday. Usually it takes about a half an hour or so for people to finally realize you're going live for whatever reason on YouTube. Like the oil's already slowing down. Like I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure to run your engine for a couple minutes before an oil change, especially in the cold winter months, or you risk the oil coming out really slow, especially if you're using thicker viscosity. Okay, I think I'm going to clear this video out. Okay, we'll let that drain. You want to let it drain for a few minutes. The whistling that you hear in the background is my neighbor's kids playing something. All right, let's clear this out. Just sharing the stream out, guys. Community tab. it out on Twitter too. Share that on Twitter. Put it on my community tab. Welcome in. Anyone who's coming in, I'm just sharing out the stream. I just took the drain plug off, just getting started on my oil change here. Hope you're having a good morning. Get this. Get it out of my tab. Okay. Got it shared out of my tab now. Let's see if we can get a few more people in here. Chat. Okay, so welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, so we just took the drain plug out. Whenever you're draining your oil, you also want to make sure that you open your fill cap. There we go. I'm going to open your fill cap so that you can get some air in there so that it can fully drain out. You can get all that oil out. If you don't want to leave your fill cap on, you want to make sure that you aren't underneath a tree that's going to drop needles or leaves or debris. Super Dave, welcome in. Great to have you in this morning for my live oil change. So I just undid the drain plug. The oil is mostly drained out. We can't hear. Thank you for letting me know. Are you able to hear me? Yeah, let me try it. Okay, are you able to hear me now? Dave? Can you hear me? Am I coming through now? The audio coming through now? Can you let me know if you're able to hear me now? I don't want to be completely silent here. I don't want you guys to have to read my lips. Are you able to hear me? You know what? I can text this. You want to let me know if you're able to hear me. If not, I'm not sure why. I did switch my headphones. Hello? Everyone able to hear me? Okay. I can hear myself. So Dave, do you have your audio on? Big Dog Gamer, welcome in to my live oil change. Okay, I'm able to hear myself on my end. Okay, so I just took out the drain plug. I don't know how many of you in here have done your own oil change before. Okay. Let's see if I can because it will sound a lot better. But then it's going to tether me to my phone. So we'll just go with it. It's too bad. I'll put my headset on. So we got the string plug out, and too bad. You can't hear. All right, that's weird. I can hear on mine. All right. Well, I put my headset on, guys. Let me know if you can hear me when I get this on. Take power off. Is everyone able to hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Is that better? I just unplugged something. Can you let me know if you can hear me? If you can hear me, I'll continue here. I just don't want to have to leave headset if I don't have to. So guys, can you hear me? Anyone want to let me know? Can you guys hear me? Because when I checked on my computer, there was sound coming through. Welcome in, everyone. Everyone able to hear me? Because I don't want to be talking to myself here. Everyone hear me? Okay. Am I coming through? Can everyone hear okay? No? Big Dog, are you sure you have your audio on? Hey, Loudlick 50, welcome in. Hey, Yoda, welcome in. Great to have you join me. I should have waited a little while. I'm not very far along on the oil change. Can everyone hear me okay? Everyone hearing me? Your volume's all the way up, Big Dog. So, anyone else able to hear me? Or do I need to put headphones on? Anyone able to hear me? I might have to do this. Okay, a little trouble hearing. Guys, is that better? I just changed my engine oil and my power transfer oil. I do the same on hers. Okay. Can everyone hear me now? It's hard to type with these gloves on. Oh, you got sound? All right. I don't know what's going on. I guess my dedicated audio on my phone wasn't working right for some reason. I didn't want to wear this headset if I didn't have to, but welcome in, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Changing oil on my Honda Odyssey. As you can see, I have my fill cap off. I have already taken out my drain plug. So on Odysseys, you have a crush washer here that you need to replace each time. So that's what this is. That's what I'll be putting in. And you want to,
I like to use the genuine oil or genuine Honda filters or genuine filters for my Toyotas too, just because they seem to do better. I'm going to be using this Amazon Basics this time, high mileage full synthetic 5W20. The 5W20 is what a lot of Hondas take. Some people use the 0W20. I think it's a little too thin, so I like using the 5W20. That's what it calls for. And this Amazon Basics oil is a lot less expensive. I was using Mobile One for my oil changes for a long time. You can't beat the price in this Amazon Basics. A lot of people say it's a decent oil. I put it in one of my Toyotas, and it's done fine. Welcome to those of you just coming in. So I use Motorcraft oil and filters on my Lincolns. Yeah, I've heard good things about that too. There's a lot of great products out there, but there's also a lot of products there that are no good at all. Make sure to smash the thumbs up button, everyone coming in. Okay, so let me try to do this. It's a little trickier with the headset, but we'll manage. We will manage. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to put... Hey, Big Mac. Thank you for coming quietly in. Be sure to check out Big Mac Sam's channel. He put up a new video last night where it was funny because his dash cam, he drives around New York City, and his dash camera was accidentally set to night mode, so he looks pretty freaky. Kind of looks like he was coming out of a Tron film or something. So it was pretty funny to watch. And I have my phone's volume off. Oh, you can't hear me. Okay, that's fine. Why do you have your volume off, Sam? Or maybe because you're in class. He might be teaching a class. And I'm having a bear getting this crush filter off. For some reason, it's not coming off very well. Usually I don't have much trouble getting this off. Anyone have any tricks on getting this crush filter off a little bit easier? Why, it's just odd that it usually just slips right off, but maybe that means it was on too tight. I'm teaching a class now. My students are actually watching a video while I'm here. The video is about to finish. Oh, okay. So Sam is teaching use oil. That's a good tip, Big Mac. Or Big Dog. Pry up on each side with a flathead screwdriver. Another good tip. All right. So I won't be long. Hello, everyone. Great to have you in, Sam. All right, let me see if I can get... It has crushed inward and it is tight on the threads. Yeah, it has, Lowland. Let me see if I can do this. One of the challenges of going live, isn't it? I wonder if I could also use some needle nose pliers. I could try that. Anyone ever tried to use needle nose on this? And I grabbed the wrong tool. I grabbed my cutters. They both have the same handle. See, this is why I tried to get almost everything set up so I wouldn't be walking around here trying to find all my tools. Yeah, I'm going to try the needle nose. I'm crushing it. Thanks, Sam. All right, here we go. Hope I don't know if this is going to be wide enough to take this off. You know, the screwdriver trick might do better. Yeah, this is a real... I've never run into this. Thanks, Sam. Where my crush washer just becomes a real pain to take off. One of those things about lives is you never know what might happen in a live. I don't want to destroy this crush washer too much if for whatever reason it just does not want to come out. You look like a doctor's going to surgery. You might pull upward and unscrew it. Yeah, I've been trying to unscrew it. I'm not getting a lot of grip with these needle nose. Maybe I should use these to actually hold the bolt. That's not working either. This is really tight on here. It's moving a little bit, guys. A little bit. Okay, I'm working it up with the screwdriver. We're making some progress now, I think. Maybe not. It's moving slowly but surely. Yeah, there I go. I think I can make it. I don't want to screw up the threads on this. But the crush washer should be. It's coming. Crush washer's softer than the. Oh, I hope I'm not messing up those threads. So you said the washer should be softer. Man, usually I've had no problem getting this off. Maybe it was just on too tight. There we go. It's off, guys. Got it. Thanks for the tips on that. See, that's why I should do all my maintenance live. Okay, put those down. Make sure I put the... see, look, that crusher got a little mangled getting it off. Yeah, it's because I was live. There, that goes on nice. Good deal. So we're gonna put this on, and a trick if you don't have a new crush washer is just to flip the old one around. Oh, great idea. Yeah, because it smashes it in that one direction. Good point. Make sure to check out Yoda's channel. He's down in Oregon. I'm up in the Seattle area. As you can tell, there's no sun here, just clouds, and it's pretty wet. I'll show you guys. This is just the reality of working on your car in Seattle. See, it rained last night. Clouds. It's just the reality of where I live. Okay, I'm just getting my torque wrench here. Setting it to about 29 foot-pounds. That's what it requires. Oh, but I need my adapter. See, here I thought I had everything I needed, and I forgot my adapter. All right, over here we go to get the adapter for my torque wrench, or see if I have a 1/2 inch 17 millimeter socket. Just dump the toolbox out, and yeah, I know I probably should do that. There's an 18. Of course, I'm going to see all of the sockets that are close in size, but not the one I need. Let's see here. Check to see if I've got a 17 on there. Of course not. Nope. Or I just find the adapter so that I can use my quarter inch or 3/4 inch, not 3/4 inch, quarter inch socket. Let's see. I have a really messy tool drawer, guys. As you can see, I've got, I need to get this better organized. You know, Chris Fix does a great job of organizing his tools. I'm very envious of him with that. This is 17, that's 19. How come I can't find a 17 today? This might be 17. Got it. Okay. We got the 17 now. Okay, this is not turning into the most efficient oil change, but hey, that's the fun about a live. Okay, let me get this socket pressed in on there. Now, I might be preaching to the choir when it comes to putting your drain plug back on, but you don't want to use your torque wrench from the beginning, so that's why I'm going to use my socket, or my normal socket wrench. Ugh. Yeah, I knew this would be a little harder with the headset. Oop, hold on. Guys, let me get you a better view of what I'm doing. Okay, so I want to just finger tighten this. Okay, I've got the crush washer on. I'm going to finger tighten that in. Sorry, I can't give you a direct view of what I'm doing, but you get the. I want to make sure that that is threaded in properly. Got my thing way down there. Okay, just finger tightening that in. I'll get a paper towel to just wipe off any excess oil that may still be dripping. One thing I didn't, and I have done, see my headset keeps creeping up. I have done an oil change on this vehicle without even jacking it up, but I figured for filming purposes I would do it this way. If you take off this passenger side wheel, it's way easier to access this oil pan. Take it off the loosen mode, that would help. Okay, let's get the torque wrench. Welcome in anybody who's coming in new. All right. My torque wrench even gonna fit? I may not even have it high enough. Okay, guys. Yes, you definitely want better access. I might have to forego the torque wrench or get my small one. Actually, I'm going to use my small one. Does anyone want to help me out here? I need someone to tell me how many inch pounds is 29 foot pounds. And I'm going to get my smaller torque wrench, which is in inch pounds. So someone want to convert that for me? How many inch pounds is 29 foot pounds? Because this foot pounds torque wrench is too big. All that, finding that socket for nothing, huh? Sorry for all the walking around. Does anyone want to convert that for me? I've got my smaller socket wrench here. 29 foot pounds in inch pounds. Does anyone want to do that for me? Anyone still listening? Uh, 348. Thank you, Lodix. 348. Let me get that here. This thing goes up by 12s. Spend a lot of time on your back when you're got a DIY stuff on your car at home. Okay. There's 360, so let's back it off. 12. Let's see. 360. Back it off a little bit. Okay. Now, get this tightened up. Again, it wasn't on. I'm going to strip this out. Okay. Sometimes these torque wrenches can be hard to read. Bear with me as I try to read this. Probably not the most accurate torque wrench, but nonetheless. Okay. So I have this on here. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Got that on. Wipe off any excess oil in here. This was wet when I started near the drain plug, so I hope I don't have some sort of leak there. Okay, now we need to do the oil filter. Bring my pan over here and my tool. I'm gonna get this tool I was saying earlier. I have two different tools here for either one. Obviously, we'll get it off. You've got this here. Thanks for coming in, LoadLix50. Great to have you in this morning into the stream. So this one will get just about any filter off. This one is nice, especially when you make sure you get the right size. It'll get it off, and it's great for putting it back on and getting it torqued to spec. So I'll try to use this for purposes today. Just put it on my socket. Make sure it's set to loosen. Turn everybody around here. This is really long. I guess I got my long extension. See? Very easy to work with. Okay, I'm gonna get that just loosen up. Though I have had some issues with this thing. It gets stuck on here. It can be kind of hard to get off. Alright. Sorry guys, headset is giving me some trouble. Okay, so let me get a paper towel here. And we're going to see the oil flow from the filter here. One thing that's kind of a pain with this filter on this vehicle is the oil gets all over this frame, and you got to clean it off. I mean, it's not too big of a problem, but you can see that my oil is really dirty. We're definitely at the very end of this oil change. We were at the very, very end of it. You know what, I'm just going to leave that in there. I don't want to deal with it. One thing I also forgot to do is I like to lay cardboard down underneath here so I don't get the oil in my driveway. That's always helpful for keeping things clean. I'm just wiping up my hands here so that I'm not a complete mess. We'll let that drain a little bit. I gotta wipe off this frame because it's set right over it. Wipe around the filter housing. You know, I'm not talking you all through this oil change. This oil change actually goes really quick. It's definitely a different experience when you're trying to do something live. And I'm sorry if I missed anything in the chat. Trying to pay attention to my phone. I come over here to my pop out and see if anyone said anything recently. Doesn't look like it. Sorry, Yoda's Doug's, you're still in. Looking here, so you have a sort of secret giveaway in my newest video. It's not mentioned until you watch it. Okay, that is great to know. So check out that on Yoda Doug's channel, everyone. He's having a secret giveaway. Okay, so we've got the filter out. That's probably pretty much drained now. I am going to put my cap back in for the time being, just until I add the oil. Just so that something doesn't fall in there. Whew, I couldn't imagine doing a more involved maintenance job in a live. But I think that the biggest challenge I've had is just various tools or pieces or sockets that I've needed to get. But I generally got just about everything ready here beforehand. Okay, I'm going to put the filter in. You're welcome, Yoda Doug's. No problem on the shout out. Happy to do it. It's one of the reasons why I like to do lives. see, my torque wrench doesn't look like it even goes low enough to do the filter. I'll have to get a smaller torque wrench at some point. So we will just use the loosening method. And get this plastic off of here. For those of you who may not have been in here, I like to use the genuine filters. I just feel like they perform the best. Let's come over here. And I'm using Amazon's oil today. You can't beat the price on this for sure, and it has good reviews, so I thought I would give it a try. Just getting some oil here on the gasket. You always want to make sure that you lubricate this, or it can get seized on your oil filter housing, and that is no fun to get off. Doesn't hurt to even put a little bit of oil in your filter just to get that started. Now, on my Camrys though, I can't put oil in the filter because the filter actually goes in the opposite way, so upside down. So you can't, or it'll all spill out. Don't forget to put oil on the outside of the filter gasket. Oh, really? I have never actually done that. That's a great tip, Yoda. I will do that. Let me just dip my finger in this oil, and we'll go do that before we put the filter on. See if I've got enough hands to do this. Okay, let's come over here and get this rolling. Turn the camera around so you guys can see. Definitely a lot to think about when you're live streaming a project. Okay, so I will take Yoda's advice and put it on the gasket. And I've never thought of doing that before. All the things that I learned from you all. Okay, let's see here. Got that on, just wiping the excess oil off my hands. Sorry, I'm not giving you guys a great angle of what I'm doing. It's hard to get the perspective of what's happening here. If I put it the other way, I won't be able to see what you're saying in the chat. Just gonna thread this on and get this threaded on properly. Sometimes it's hard to get the right angle on these things. One thing I should have done is I should have turned this passenger side wheel out a little bit. It would have given me more access. I'm just trying to get this thing on the thread. For some reason it's not catching. I must not have there we go. Just didn't have quite the right angle on it. Okay, it's seized against the housing, or touching the housing, I should say. Alright, let me see what I can do here as far as giving you guys a view of what's going on. Oh, this... Okay, so I've got it here. Now I'm just going to turn it. So there's a 3. I don't know if you can see that. So it's numbered here. It's got 4 numbers. And to get it properly tighten using this method, we want to turn it 3/4 of a turn. Now that it's just touching the housing, so there's 3, I don't know, 4, 1. Supposed to get to the 2, but maybe I had it turned a little bit too far. See if I can. These gloves are kind of hard because they're slippery. Looks like we've got a couple of you heading out, which is fine. Oh, this access is okay. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. All right, so we've got the under part of the project done. Oh, maybe everybody had to head out. Only showing one person in the house. Okay, and get my oil out here. Okay, I'm going to show you this oil. That is really dirty oil. And my wife's been driving this car a lot. Many, many miles since the last oil change. Okay, put you here. Got to look up something here real quick. Let's see what we got to look up. And anyone still here? Or is that just me? Sam, are you still here? Maybe you had to go. Okay, 4.4. All right, so my particular vehicle takes 4.4 quarts of oil. I purchased a 5-quart off Amazon, and I have this link in the description. So we need to. Okay, we got our oil. Now we're going to need a funnel. Got my trusty funnel here, and again, paper towels. You always need your paper towels. Let me see if I can set my camera up somehow so you can see what I'm doing. It's going to work. All right, so I'm adding the oil. For those of you who might still be watching, if you're not, then that's okay. Now, when it comes to adding the oil, you want to make sure that you don't add too much. One caveat I have with this Amazon Basics bottle is the spout. It doesn't really pour very well. People were complaining that it didn't have didn't have measurements in the side, but this one seems to have it. For those of you just coming in, or maybe you're returning, I'm doing an oil change in my Honda Odyssey. I'm getting ready to add in the new oil Hopefully that's going in the engine. Try not to add too much oil. When you add too much oil, that's not good for your engine either. So my particular model takes 4.4 quarts. The other thing that you want to do is once you add the oil in, or as you're adding it in, you want to check underneath to make sure that nothing is leaking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in, let's see, I've added in about 3 quarts. Here, I'm going to check the oil. Okay, I've added in about 4 quarts. Now I'm going to check the oil, check my dipstick, and see how much I have in. And Sam, if you're still in here, I know you have a Honda Element, so your oil change would be similar to this. Sorry, I've got to turn things around. I've got to move this since I'm tethered by this headset that I originally didn't think I'd be wearing. One thing about these Hondas is the oil dipstick is orange for some weird reason, and the transmission dipstick is yellow, which is the opposite of a lot of other vehicles. So let's see where we're at. Looks like we're halfway between the 2 holes here, and we want to be up closer to the second hole. So we're getting close, but then we will need to run the engine so that we can run some of this oil through too. I wish this cord on my headphones was longer. And when it gets to this point, I don't like to add a whole lot of oil at a time when you get so close. Oh, did everyone leave me? Okay, where are we at? Oh, we're getting really close. Just a little bit more, and then I'm gonna check underneath and then run the engine. Just adding in a little bit more. Let's check the level. Where are we at? We are really close to that line. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the engine, and then we will see what we got. Welcome in, everybody. Just doing my oil change here on my Honda Odyssey. I've just put in the new oil. I'm going to start it up so we can get it circulating through the engine a little bit. Before I do that, I want to check underneath for any leaks. You always want to check underneath for any leaks that you might have. You want to check around the oil filter, and then you also want to check a lot of this Leftover oil is what poured out from my oil filter when I changed it. And then you want to check the around your drain plug, which looks like it's dry. Okay, so I think we're ready to start it up and run a little bit of the oil through the engine. So let's do that. And if you're new in here, don't forget the thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up for me. Okay. So hopefully everything is in place. And run this for about a minute or so to get that oil circulating. And then we're going to check it again. So when I do this, I also like to take a quick look around my engine to make sure everything is working, if there's nothing obviously wrong. Check for any sort of leaks or anything. Fluid levels. This is always a good time to check fluid levels and to see if there's anything unusual happening in your engine. So I'll come back in here and see about, that's probably long enough. Now you want to let it kind of settle for about a minute before we check the level. While I'm doing that, I'm going to take off the fill cap. Be careful with these in these Hondas. This actually fell down in the engine once, and it was a real, I like to stow it up there. It was a real pain for me to get out. Welcome in, those of you who are just coming in. Just ran my engine to get the oil circulating a little bit. Now I'm going to do a check on my oil level. I am going to have to probably add a little bit more, but let's see what we got. Since I ran the engine, I'm going to have to wipe off the dipstick, put it back in. Oop. Let's see where we're at. Oh, we're way down at the first mark. So I was way up at the first mark when... Make sure that's going in all the way. I was way up at the first mark. I don't know if you can see that, but it's only at the first hole there. It needs to be at the second hole. So we definitely have some more oil to add. Let me get my funnel and my oil. I'm using Amazon Basics today. I've got a link in the description for this product. I'm using high mileage full synthetic F5W20 because I'm doing this on a Honda Odyssey. This is lined up. Just put a little bit in. You don't want to add too much at one time, or you risk overfilling the engine. Okay, let's check the level now. See what we got. Huh. Still getting kind of a... Let me put that back in and see what we have here. Still showing just above that mark, so it's just still just above that lower hole, so we're going to have to put in more. This can be a bit tedious, but it's worth not overfilling your oil. This is actually taking more than what I thought it would take to fill back up. Oh, you know, I just realized, everybody, and this is something I just realized. How much have I put in? Ooh. Just realized that I had not put my car down from being up in the jack stands. So my readings are a bit skewed, and I may have put in a little bit too much. And if that's the case, that's not going to be the best. So I'm going to have to bring the car back down off the jack. As you can see, I have my front end raised up. I'm going to double check to make sure aren't any leaks down here from when I just ran the engine, and I don't see any, so I think we're good. Okay, so we've got to put the vehicle down. Okay. All right. Got to get this the jack under here in the right spot. Okay, let's get this jacked up so that I can get the jack stands out from underneath it. I knew that there was going to be a step I'd probably forget doing this live, but that's how I learn. Okay, so we got to. I actually have this stand as a backup. Let's go over here and get the other jack stands.
Doing the next video, huh?
Yeah, it's a postal carrier.
Are you doing the same thing?
No, just changing the oil on this one.
So you guys just do your own work?
Most of it, yeah. It's easier and it's cheaper.
Okay. We do this portion,
Oh,
and then it was kind of really hard because it's off of a Dodge,
right.
like that one, and we can't put it back on. So now I gotta figure out which. They said to go to O'Reilly's, and then they
Yeah.
do it. But if they can't put it on, then who do I go to? Do I also go?
It's the light bulb or the actual
It's the light bulb.
the light bulb. Yeah, those are usually easy. You can usually
It's kind of hard
to access it.
because it's a caliber,
Uh-huh.
caliber.
Okay.
So we took it out and we put it in the light
Yeah.
bulb in. We just can't put it back in.
Oh.
We can't put it back in the socket. So
Okay. Yeah, sometimes they slip in, and then they might have like a harness that you have to put back over it,
they don't have
or it rotates in and then locks.
that is the one that we have.
Okay.
And they said like turn it to like a certain amount of degrees and then turn it right back.
Yeah.
So we tried to doing that.
Yeah. Or just look up on YouTube. Somebody's probably done it.
That's what we did. We still
Oh, yeah. I know they can make it look easy.
because it's really a tight fit, so your hand can't fit
Yeah.
right in it. So
Uh-huh.
so it's stuck on the Dodge.
Right.
So I'm thinking of probably taking it to. There should be a Dodge
Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty easy for them.
I think so too. So I'm hoping O'Reilly will do it. So I'm gonna do this after we
Yeah,
go.
okay, sounds good. That was our postal carrier asking some questions about the car.
You filming?
Live streaming.
Really?
Yeah.
You should maybe make some videos since you live stream all the time.
I mean, I've already done a video for how to change the oil in this. So,
What are you doing for this now?
I'm just finishing up. I'm getting the... So, let's put the car back down here. And bring this down slow. Okay, there we go. And we'll pull out the jack stand. Okay, now we're going to check the oil level again, which I had forgotten to... Hey, welcome in from Zero to Homestead. Just finishing up my oil change. Hopefully I haven't overfilled this. I was filling the oil and then I realized I hadn't put the car back down. Oh, it looks like we're really close. We can see we are close to that. You want it to be here, up at this second hole. That's where you want the oil level to be. I like to have it so it's just right on that hole. So I might just add in a little more. Well, let me pull out the stick again and see where we're at. Yeah. I'm really thrilled that I didn't overfill it. Real thrilled that I didn't overfill it. So where'd my oil go? I'm gonna get... So welcome in those... I've got my headset on and my wire is only so long. So welcome in those of you who are just coming in. This fill cap gets put on so tight. I must have put that on really tight. There we go. Sometimes it takes two hands to get that off. So for those of you just coming in, I'm changing the oil on my Honda Odyssey. Got to get my funnel over here. And it's definitely an experience to change my oil in a live stream. And my postal carrier was here asking me questions if you were in here for that. She was curious as to how to change her light bulb on one of her headlights. I do have a video on how to do that on this Odyssey. If you want to check that out or share that out to anybody who would want to know that. If you hear a noise in the background, my neighbors are working on their motorcycles. They have dirt bikes that they take out for fun. Man, I am so close to that mark. Oops, excuse me guys. It's so close to that mark. I might just call that good. So let's get the filler cap back in. And so when you're doing your oil change here, anybody still in here? Looks like I just had some people pop in and pop out. So pretty much done. And just to walk you through what I did is I have neighbors walking by over here. So what I did is I first loosen, you take out the fill plug, the oil pan fill plug, and let the oil drain out there. Then you take out your filter, let the oil drain out there, and then you put your And when you do that, you want to make sure that you have this fill cap off when you're draining the oil out, so it sends air through the system to drain it out better. And you want to run your vehicle for about 2 to 3 minutes before you do the oil change, so the oil will flow out easier. Just don't do neighbor's working on his bike. And you want to make sure that you don't do an oil change after you've driven your car for several hours. You come right back. Don't start on the oil change right away. You will burn your hands in the oil. It's dangerous. You want to let it cool down for at least an hour. The oil will stay hot for a couple of hours. That's a good time to do a change too. His bike is really loud. And then you want to put the drain plug back in. Don't over tighten it. Those drain pans are mostly aluminum, and you will strip it and you will hate yourself for it. It's a pain to deal with. And so make sure you do not over tighten that. Put the filter back on. Don't over tighten the filter either. Check for leaks, and then come up top and fill your oil to the amount specified. And again, I'm trying out this Amazon Basics high mileage full synthetic 5W20. I have a link in the description to this type of oil, but they carry all the different viscosities, and it's a really good price. And I was a little skeptical. I put it in one of my Hondas, or not my Hondas, my Toyotas, and it's done really well. It gets good reviews. There have been some mechanics on there that have talked about how it's definitely a good quality grade of oil. So I thought I'd try it in my Odyssey, see how it does. And so then after the oil change, you know, I had forgotten to put the car down off the jack stands when I did the final check of the oil level. Thankfully, I hadn't overfilled it. And I'll probably check it again in a few days. It's not a bad idea to check it a couple days later after the change, or in a week, to see if the oil level's dropped. As it works its way through the engine, you might need to add a little bit more oil, which I'll probably check this again in a couple days and add more oil if I need to. But now comes the fun part, the cleanup. And look at that nasty old oil. One thing I should say too is on these Hondas, you want to reset the oil light, or you reset the computer for the oil change interval. And I have a video on how to do that. I'll kind of talk you through it. I'm not going to do it. I guess I could. Okay, so the way that you do this is you want to, there's your selector, your reset button here, that has to be held in for 10 seconds, and you switch the ignition to position 3. There you see 1, 2, and 3. So you want to be holding in that select or reset button, and you switch it to position 3, and then you hold it for 10 seconds, take it off, and then it should be reset. So I have to have two hands to do this. Okay, so I'm holding it for 10 seconds. And it will reset. Okay, so I've reset the oil indicator light, or the oil change scheduling light, so that shouldn't come on prematurely. So now I've got cleanup to do, which is fun. I usually like to get some cardboard to put down, because cleanup is messy, but I've come up with a pretty good system for doing it. That's where these we get so many Amazon shipments that I just keep the boxes, break them down, and then I can use them for things like this. Man, my nose is running. Okay, so you're going to need a lot of paper towels. It's best to use these shop grade paper towels. They're just more absorbent than a regular paper towel, and they actually sell another type of shop towel, but they're not this soft. They're like this papery thing. Those things are so cheap. I don't like them. They don't absorb very well. Okay, let's put this here. The other thing we need is we're going to need an old, I like to keep old 5-quart oil containers for this very reason, to have oil to take. I was hoping to, forgot to mention it in my live yesterday, but yesterday was National Recycling Day. So with this, you can take this oil to a lot of the parts shops like O'Reilly's or AutoZone. A lot of those places will take your recycled oil. If they don't, there's recycling centers around your city more than likely that will take a lot of dangerous chemicals, but they'll also take motor oil and other things as well. But what I like to do is pour all the oil into one of these old 5-quart containers, and since my vehicle takes less than 5 quarts, it goes in nicely. And then I clean up this oil drain pan with a bunch of paper towels, and I like to have a bag that I can put the towels in. Welcome. Hey, Christian's OC. Great to have you in the stream. I'm doing some cleanup from my oil change. So welcome in, and great to have you with us today. And for those of you who I was just mentioning, yesterday was National Recycling Day. So whenever you're doing an oil change, you want to make sure that you're recycling the oil. Do not put the oil down any drain at all. Don't dump the oil out on the ground, and make sure that you're trying to keep minimal oil off your driveway because of runoff. As you can see, I've got cardboard here. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to put my old paper towels. Thank you, Christian. It's great to have you in. Be sure to smash my like button. Also, smash my red button and subscribe to my channel if you'd like. I'm going to put my paper towels in here for now until I can transfer them to a bag. But that's what just came out of my car. Nasty old oil. Now this is synthetic, and in fact this is actually what I put in last time, but this time I'm doing the Amazon basics here. It gets good reviews on Amazon. I decided to try it. Decided to try the high mileage version. The only thing I don't like about their oil is their the dispenser here. You know, the cap, it's small and doesn't pour very well compared to like the Mobile One version that has a nice wide cap on it. This one's the small little teeny cap on it, though it does label better than the Mobile One. It's got the amounts on it. Mobile One just has lines, no labels. Thank you, Christians. I appreciate you coming in and supporting my channel for sure. Okay, so I'm going to start cleaning this up here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my other tripod if I can, because my other tripod is taller. Bear with me as I switch out. I have another camera on this tripod. Take that off. And I'm going to use this big boy so that you guys can get a better view of what I'm doing. It's shaky here because I'm undoing that tripod and putting us on this tripod, which is much taller. That way you can see, I can clean up this oil and you'll actually be able to see what I'm doing. Let me get this turned around. There we go. Much better. But one thing I just realized is my headset cord may not be, is it long enough? Barely. Okay. There's the empty one that we're gonna pour into. This has still has some good oil in it, so I'm not gonna use that. Okay. Now comes the messy part of cleaning everything up. Here's the old filter. Oh, just so messy. Get that out of the way. Hi. Hi, I'm live streaming. But it's aimed down at this. So you're not in it. Do you need help with the groceries? Okay. Luke's been outside. He came outside for a while. Okay, I'm gonna pour this in here now. This is a nice feature with this drain pan. It's got the spout on it. Though I usually use a funnel, but I guess I won't use the funnel since this is a nice opening. And plenty big enough to take all of this oil that just came out of the car. If you use the small 1-quart bottles, this becomes a pain because you have to fill them all up individually. That's why I like the 5-quart version. Okay. And let that stop dripping. Put the cap back on. Sorry, I'm not able to see the chat right now, everybody. I also like to get the excess oil off of here so that when I take it in to the shop, I don't make a huge mess. Ugh. but I still have a lot of oil on the inside. Let me see here. Okay, haven't missed anything in the chat. Okay, so I like to use as few paper towels as possible. I like to use a lot of the ones that I had used with the job. So these are just paper towels that I had used earlier in the project because they could still absorb a lot more. It's a nice thing about these towels is they are super absorbent. Always wear gloves. But I'll use a few new ones because my other towels are kind of out of my reach, and since I'm tethered by this headset, it's not convenient to try to go over there. Just, you have to have patience when you're cleaning this, but after you do this, after you do so many different oil changes, it actually isn't that bad. I used to have a Toyota Previa, and that took a lot of oil. I think it was over 6 quarts of oil that came out of that for every oil change. It would fill this pan almost completely full, and I used to have a couple of these 5-quart containers to pour off the used oil. It was just had a really big oil capacity in it compared to my other vehicles, and it was only a 4-cylinder too. Now you don't have to get this perfectly clean, but I like to get it clean enough because I stow my funnel and some other drain pans in here, and I just don't want to have it be a huge mess. So definitely much cleaner than what we had it. Clean this off, make sure that's clean, as well as this filter. I'm just going to be getting rid of that. Okay, so that is all cleaned up now. Probably don't want to look at the edge of my garage. So that is pretty much my oil change on this Honda Odyssey. Let me raise this thing up. There we go. So we've done everything. We've cleaned up the oil. Now just have a whole lot of tools and whatnot to put away. I've got a bunch of tools sitting out over there. Oh, you can see my laptop. I was originally going to stream this on my laptop, but then I thought I won't be able to give the view under the car or anything like that. So that is how you change the oil, at least on a Honda Odyssey. Anyone still in here? Any questions? Observations? Anything related to the project? But that was fun to do. Definitely a learning experience. I've never done a live stream for an oil change before, or any car maintenance. There's always an element of risk. I always take safety very importantly, which is why when I jack up the car, I use 2 jacks instead of 1. Jack stands, I mean, just for safety, to try to make sure that if something were to happen, there's always a backup system. So, and if I'm taking the wheels off, I throw the wheels under the car as well to make sure that even if both the jack stands fail, there's still a wheel that is there to break the fall before it gets to me or whoever else might be under the car. All right, so that is the oil change. Hope you all have a great day, and I'm going to finish cleaning up all my tools and everything here. Appreciate you coming in, and hit that thumbs up button on your way out if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next stream. Take care.